What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with another video on the Kaiju MonsterVerse. It appears that Legendary, yes, Legendary is the company that makes the Godzilla movies, not Warner Bros. They're just a distributor. I don't understand why Warner Bros. Get credit for it when really they just release it. It's Legendary that makes it. So Legendary Pictures, Legendary Entertainment are moving fast with the sequel of Godzilla X Kong. They now have a writer for the movie. Also, now they've confirmed they're looking for a new director, which means they want to get this movie out as fast as possible. Because if it's already being written, the script will be done by the end of the year at latest, which means they can start shooting it next year easily. So, yo, what is freaking good, YouTube? Warstu here. If you're new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Kaiju MonsterVerse content. We have covered Godzilla vs. Kong back in 2021. Godzilla X Kong. We have covered so much MonsterVerse stuff on this channel. So if that's the kind of content you want, make sure to subscribe. Also, we cover Marvel, DC, multiple other pop culture based content. So if that's the kind of stuff you like, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the content. Also, if you could, become a channel member for less than 99p, less than $1. It really does help the channel out. Also, if you could, follow us on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. And also, if you could, check us out on Twitter, WarstuG. Right, let's get into it. So, the movie did really well at the box office. It's now out on digital download. It's around £20 in England, which is actually a lot more than it would cost at the cinema, realistically. So, it made $563 million turnover currently, and it is worth saying it's still showing in the cinema. It will be better to go watch it in IMAX than it would be on digital download, but I guess you can watch it in the comfort of your own house. So apparently the reported budget of Godzilla X Kong the Empire was $130 million. So yeah, it's easily made its money back and some, and that's probably why Legendary Pictures, not Warner Bros., are stepping in very fast to get the wheels spinning on the next movie. Now, what is interesting is they already have someone scribing the movie, which means writing the next movie. Legendary announced recently on May the 10th, David Callahan, who wrote early drafts of Godzilla 2014, and he got credit for the story. So it's someone that somewhat knows Godzilla, but he has worked on good stuff. He has worked on bad stuff. He worked on Wonder Woman 1984. But he worked on Into the Spideyverse, Across the Spideyverse, Beyond the Spideyverse. That is legendary and well respected. So let's just see whatever he actually comes up with. Now, what is interesting is everyone seems to think, because Adam Wingard said post the movie coming out, interviews were done prior, but they were released post, what he would do with said movie. So now everyone seems to think this movie is going to take a dark twist. It's going to focus more on Godzilla. Now, just because it appears that Adam Wingard is not working on the next movie, Wingard directed and co-wrote Legendary's latest movie's installment that has earned $564 million and opened at the end of March. So it's now come out and basically said in a Hollywood Reporter article, this is not your Twitter scooper, this is a trade, and they've actually somewhat got to have some credibility and some precedence before they can come out and say some stuff. It just appears that Adam Wingard is working on a different project and they want to start spinning very fast with the next project. So this article goes on to say the following. Wingard, who didn't have a deal for any new installment, he had more stories to tell during the press tour, but also unveiled a new original feature project that he wanted to tackle before another MonsterVerse movie. The project, an action thriller titled Onslaught, who picked up a competitive sale by A24. A24 are doing some great work at the moment, and is prepping for a full shoot. That didn't fit into Legendary's plan to move swiftly onto the next monster tag team. I really wish they would just do a Godzilla solo movie and a Kong solo movie, so on and so forth. Although it signaled it wouldn't like to see Wingard return to the director's chair, its return was looking dubious when the company hired Shang-Chi's Legend 10 Rings, which I'm not a fan of, to scribe David Callahan to begin penning a new script. A week or two later. This week, the parting of ways was made official, according to sources. Now, why I keep going on about it's not a Warner Bros. Movie is because it's Legendary, like it says here. Legendary now goes to start fresh for its next monster movie. It is unclear whether it will continue to explore the concepts such as Hollow Earth and the idea and vast subterranean world exists inside the Earth, and characters such as the adventurous vet played by Dan Stevens that were introduced by Adam Wingard. So this is pretty ridiculous, this part here. Let's be honest, lads. Let's be Of course, the next MonsterVerse movie, it's not going to completely skip Hollow Earth and everything that's built. Even if they don't go inside with the next storyline that was looking like it was going to be some variants of, realistically, the threat being humans, that realistically being the monsters being a threat to the humans, because now they've seen they've destroyed Rio de Janeiro. They've destroyed so many different cities and countries, respectively. It's somewhat going to follow the same path that the other ones did. Otherwise, they can't have a sequel, right? Because they're calling it Godzilla X Kong sequel. It can't be a sequel. And the reason why people are saying, oh, it's going to be a dark plot, realistically, we don't know that. People are just saying that because Adam Wingard did say that he would have inspiration from Godzilla versus Destroyer and Baby Godzilla Jr., so on and so forth. So that's why people said it's going to take a dark twist. It was literally what Adam Wingard said. It's crazy because you look at Godzilla vs. Destroyer and it's a very high-end version of having a guy in a Godzilla suit. I would say it's probably the peak of it because I don't think it matched its terms of that version. The quality and the scale of having Godzilla brought to life through an actor in a suit. But that's the thing for me. If I were going to do another of these films, I would want it to hit that kind of emotional resonance with Godzilla as a character. So Adam Wingard was basically saying he would do what he did for Kong and make the next movie a Godzilla-centric movie. And because Godzilla is a freaking savage, people just assume it's going to be a dark plot. And it doesn't really say that. Sure, we want Space Godzilla. Sure, we want Destroyer. Sure, we want Gagan. So on and so forth. King Caesar. There's so many new characters and titans and creatures they can introduce into said MonsterVerse. But they're not going to drop the whole Hollow Earth because there's so much continuity in there. The whole legacy Monarch of Monsters show. I probably butchered that because I can't remember what it's called. That is based in Hollow Earth, predominantly a lot of it. So Hollow Earth will feature in it. It's just a case of what they're going to do. Now, a lot of MonsterVerse fans who are more the Toho side are not happy with how soft that movie was. And sure, yeah, we need a more, grounded, more like a King of the Monsters tone where it's serious and not this happy-go-lucky comedic side, which I don't dislike. I just realistically don't think they need to do another team-up movie, which they most likely will. You guys know that I'm a Zack Snyder fan. I've covered a lot of Zack Snyder's stuff on the channel. I don't want Zack Snyder to direct the next Godzilla or Kong team-up movie at all, but another director would be cool, a fresh take. But this also tells you that they want the movie to come out soon. So if it's been scribed this year by David Callahan, it will probably be finished by the end of the year. It means they can shoot 2025 at some point. And you know how it goes. Most movies shoot 3 to 6 months. Then in post to 6 to 12 months. So realistically, it could come out towards the end of 2026. But in a conversation with Dangerville recently, he did bring up a point that he didn't really think it would go up against Avengers 5, which is interesting. But at the same time, the current Disney release slate is you got Avengers 5, 2026, and Avengers 6, 2027. So realistically, regardless to what they do, it's going to have to come out either 2026 or 2027. I do agree, probably 2027 having the 3-year gap would probably make a bit more sense. But if they're already looking for a director when the movie's not written, it tells you they want to shoot very, very fast and they want to jump on this rise to kind of MonsterVerse hype. And I respectively don't think the MonsterVerse has actually hit an all-time peak yet, because let's be honest, just less than $600 million. Sure, it'll make a lot of money with toy sales, so on and so forth. And sure, the on-demand stuff. And I think because of distribution rights, I think that the on-demand stuff, I think that more money of that predominantly goes back to Warner Bros. Rather than Legendary. But it's made a profit just on the theatrical release alone. So I don't blame them for wanting to throw a movie out as fast as freaking possible. You guys know I love the MonsterVerse. And yeah, I've had some criticism recently because I've not covered as much MonsterVerse content. It's because there realistically isn't much to talk about other than what Adam Wingard said about having a potential baby Godzilla Jr. and doing some kind of inspiration based around Godzilla versus Destroyer. There realistically isn't any factual stuff coming out at the moment. But there will be, because the script's been written. So there will be more MonsterVerse Kaiju related stuff to talk about. And like I say, I will talk about MonsterVerse stuff when there's actually stuff to talk about. So like I've always said, and like I said in the video I made probably 10 days, maybe 3 weeks ago, I think it's going to be a 2026 movie at earliest, maybe 2027, but they're either going to have to go up against Avengers 5 or Avengers 6, and there is a bunch of other Marvel movies in between that, and obviously there will be other DC. There's going to be a lot of cool superhero movies coming out, and superhero movies are always going to bang well. But I think MonsterVerse is a very different target audience, if you ask me. So likewise, guys, let us know. What do you think about this news about them looking for a director? It doesn't necessarily say they're looking for a director. It just says it's not very likely he's going to return because he's working on a project that's starting later this fall. But realistically, if not going to shoot till late 2025 anyway, it would be done in time. But I guess it is what it is. It'd be interesting to see what direction they're going to go. And I hope it's more Godzilla-centric. I don't mind Kong being in it, but I realistically, if it was me, have it a kind of continuity-based movie for Godzilla and Kong, which is in the same universe, but they don't necessarily have to cross paths. But I guess it is what it is. It's going to be interesting. So thank you very much, guys, for checking out the Warstu channel today. Like always, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see that beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Check us out on Twitter, WarstuG, and we'll catch you in another video, guys. Very soon. Catch you later.